Thank you for joining us today with the Jedi Archives. My name's John.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Bryce.
Today we're going to go over episode 8 of the Star Wars High Republic Adventures. If you haven't kept up, we've been doing all of these, and they're all on our Facebook page, YouTube page, sorry. And they're great reads. Watch them all to catch up and subscribe.
And I'll start out with our League of Comic Geeks friends. And there it is. So you see here's the cover, the main cover. And we've got a bunch of Jedi here and a familiar Jedi down at the bottom left corner. And
it's Grogu. No?
It's what Grogu's going to look like in a few years.
God, I don't think so. I think
maybe.
Disney's going to keep Grogu looking like that baby for as long as they can.
Yeah. So we've got Yoda down there, Master Yoda with his lightsaber. And we've got all the Padawans. And we've got
Lula and Farzala.
and Zine's friend, her little pet.
Yep.
And what's that little droid at the bottom?
It's a good. I don't remember a droid in our story. Do we have a droid?
I just noticed him right now, so I'll keep an eye out for him. But nice cover. I like this triangle with all the lightsabers.
V18. I don't know who that is.
No, it's not V18. And variant covers, we have one.
That's a cool cover.
Yeah, artwork's a little different, but I like the dark.
Yeah.
We've got Farzala there and Zine and Lula
A very cool cover.
and Court. Yeah.
Lula's hand is like all wrenched and it looks painful.
It looks Sithish, right? I mean, look at her. She looks like she's out for
if you
business.
just take her silhouette, it's kind of scary. Her eyes, yeah, she's meaning business right now.
So in this one, this is Back Together and Away Again, part 1. If you read the Free Comic Book Day, you see our friends got together. And so now we're back together and safe on the Starlight. Lula, Zine, Farzala, and Court recover from their adventures on the Junk Moon and Nalhutta, but a new challenge awaits them in the form of an old friend. Meanwhile, Markion Ro encourages Crix's violent obsessions, leading to an attack on Batuu. This is, of course, by writer Daniel Jose Older, best-selling author of Star Wars Last Shot, and artist Tony Bruno, bringing the IDW into the High Republic, a massive publishing crossover spanning comics and prose.
Wait, but what about Batuu? What? Leading to an attack on Batuu.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read that part.
Bunch of characters. I know, I don't remember that part either. Let me stop sharing that and go straight to the comic.
Yeah, if you're not up to date on it, our heroes kind of split up. One had some business to deal with the Hutts, and one had some business to do with Valor. So they did their things, and they each actually got new friends. And now this is where everyone's meeting together. And everyone looks a lot older. So I'm assuming this is sometime later. So it's kind of cool. We're aging them up a little bit. They're not, when we first seen Zine, she looks really young, and she's looking more teenish here.
Lula too looks really young in that first image.
Yeah. So we also have new art, and they I don't know if it was Disney's idea. Somebody decided to just change the art a little. We discussed this a little bit already, but the art definitely changes here. And it's simplistic is the word we use. It's definitely more simplistic.
Mm-hmm. So back together and safe on the Starlight, Lula, Zine, Farzala, and Court recover from their adventures on the Junk Moon. Oh, I read that already.
But we should emphasize that I do believe the League of Comic Geeks is wrong because they say Batuu and it is Takodana.
It's Takodana, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember too. I'm like, wait a minute, it's on Takodana. You're right.
I'm like, this book doesn't come out yet? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, threw us all off there for a
You
moment.
can get the point for that, Mike. Let them know they have it wrong.
I'm gonna go do an edit and get some points. Thanks for that, Bryce.
You're welcome. Anything to boost your points, Mike. I'm here for it.
Thank you. So here we see the Starlight Beacon. Nice. And it always looks like a lightsaber to me, but pretty cool. So here they are together again on Starlight Beacon. It says it's been months, feels like years, and they actually look older. They just got
Yeah, I
back.
think the push forward in the timeline with the months is lining up with the Fallen Star and book in that timeline, because it had been months since Valo at that point when we learn about Starlight a little bit more.
Right. And here we have Zine and Lula and Ram Jamaram and V18 following them, and they're meeting up with their friends that were on Starlight. Big hug encounter.
How tall Zine looks there. Gosh, she's looking so old. Yeah, then they start introducing
Ram.
new kids on the block, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. So Ram Jamaram, he gets introduced. He's a Padawan from Valo.
Yep.
And they're sharing his tech savviness. And then he's instantly welcomed into the family.
Yeah, they're very welcoming. As soon as they say, hey, they're a new person, like both instances, they're like, big hug.
Group hug.
It reminds me of our group. You know, when we have members and we see, we just like instant family feeling. I love it. So
then
and then we flip over to
we get Ishnar is the new character from the Hutts, which is, what do they call her? The legendary warrior Ishnar. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah, Ishnar.
Ishnar, yeah. It's a tough one for me. Ishnar, I'm not even gonna try her last name.
I know.
Yeah.
T Naratal. I think it's a silent K.
Yeah.
Like knock.
So, and they even mentioned she's like a chef. So I like how they round out their party, like a D&D party. They're rounding it out a little bit more. They give it now. They have an engineer and a chef, and they're all rounding out. Just what I thought was a little odd is that she was like a Hutt warrior, and all of a sudden she's on the Jedi, the Starlight Beacon with the Jedi. And I thought that was a little odd, like no clearance or anything like that. She can just join whenever she wants. But I'm glad she's with the group now.
They're maybe a little bit too friendly, too soon.
Literally no. She was working for the Hutts as like enforcer. Oh, you can just join us in the Jedi. Yeah, it's a little odd.
Well, plus because when they met her, she was attacking them, right?
Yeah, she was fighting them. She was like,
and then all of a sudden they like brought her on board. So then we go to the Gaze Electric, the Nile base ship with Mark Young Rowe. And there he is wearing his fur.
With Crix, who Crix all of a sudden is a young man, a warrior. He was a child earlier. So they're really aging him up quick. And he's like decked out in armor. He's not playing around anymore. Like he's serious.
But if you look at Crix here and you look at Zine, they both look like they've aged the same amount. So I like that.
Yep. Now, have they, and maybe I missed it, but with Roe, they never have come through with like what species he is.
I don't think they've mentioned it. Maybe they have.
He looks very chist.
He's not just because they have like a gray skin, but have you read there's a series that's about, I was just reading it. There's like 2 issues out of that comic. That's about when he was a child or young in his family.
Oh yeah. The Eye of the Storm comics, which you're right. I have not read. So that's probably where I'm missing my information.
Yeah. I read those, and that's a good background because it tells you how, they're pretty ruthless in their culture.
Okay. Perfect.
So I don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty cool. I like his backstory.
They're sitting about 12 feet to my left. So that's my goal for this afternoon before Super Bowls to read them. So
you can enjoy them for sure. Have you read them, Jonathan?
No, mine's like 2 feet to my right.
How can you buy comics and not read them? I can't read them, not read them.
Because I go once a month and I get a small stack, and it's like I definitely read the series we're in, and I just need to go through them all and read them. But
I go every
think
week. When
that-
they come in, they call me and I pick it up right away. Then I read it right away. I read it while I'm there.
I like to read it in a series. I can't, if I read it one out of nowhere, I have to go back and read what's going on. So what I do is I like to get like 3 or 4 and then I read them in a row. So I kind of know what's going on.
Oh, how do you read them, Bryce?
I tend to save the story arcs a little bit. Like right now I haven't touched Crimson Reign because there's only like the two issues. So I like to try to sit down and read them all in once.
Oh, so I'm odd man out. I read them as they come out. So
No,
I can't wait.
Most
Which is
people
true. I'll
do
read it
like
different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, certain
Yeah.
certain books I definitely do that with, but some cases when I like with this High Republic, there's so much going on that I tend to find like if I separate it a little bit more, that I get the full story with, like Monster of Temple Peak, for instance.
That's true. That's true. Now I do go back and read them again once I have them all to get the full story, but I can't wait to read my issues.
I wish
No
I had your
self-control.
time, Mike.
I don't sleep.
I actually realize why I read it the way I do is because even though I had some comics as younger, I really got into it when I was in my teens. And I would buy the books, the omnibuses or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
That's how I would read it. I read a lot definitely like the DC stuff. I read a lot of like the Crisis of Infinite Earth and Kingdom Come, and those are books of comics.
Yeah.
I
And
read
you know what?
comic, I was like, that's too short. So I wait till I get kind of a decent story before I read them.
I do like those because it's more cost effective, but now I can afford to buy each issue. So I read the issues as they come out, but I do like the collections.
With the issues. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to do the issues like this and not the omnibuses.
Yeah, I'm not patient enough to wait for the trade paperbacks.
So on the Gaze Electric, we have Crix saying that he wants that power, and we have Markion Rose grooming him for something. I'm not sure that he really does believe in Crix as much as Crix believes he does. So I'm not really sold on that.
I'm not either. And the reason why is I think Crix thinks we see a lot of it in the adventures, but you see zero of it in anything else. In anything else, when you see Markion, you never even hear Crix or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Crix is more almost just like a hobby for him, or like not a hobby, but like something on the side to like, I'm going to work with this kid when I can, but it's definitely not like I'm grooming him to be really high up. Or if it is, it's half-assed. But yeah, so it's the Marchion in these adventures doesn't seem to be my Marchion in the book, in the rest of the book. So yeah, I still haven't seen them merge quite well yet. Maybe the Eye of the Storm does it, but right now I still haven't seen them quite merge yet.
And then we flip back from the Gaze Electric to Starlight Beacon. We have our friends here.
They definitely do the double-sided, like what's going on whenever they show Crix and Zine, it's always like dark, light. They always like to show both ends, and like how he's struggling, and it's not even just the imagery, the mood board, but it's just how the tone of what's going on. They're always happy and he's always sad.
Mm-hmm.
I love the contrast. I think that's what makes this comic work so well, is because where he's got all this anger, she's a total opposite, but yet these two used to be inseparable at the beginning of this, whole comic.
She's literally smiling in every image and he's upset in every image.
Scowling, yeah. They were best friends, almost like family, like brother and sister. So
yeah.
And then here we see the Storm Riders.
Hitting 2x2.
Takodana. I know. Can't wait to make that correction. Heading to Takodana for their attack. And then meanwhile, on Takodana, we see them
introduce a great new Jedi, and I love this Jedi.
Yes, it's very cool.
Just making their tap calf and relaxing, and all of a sudden, yeah, invasion alarm. Oh, bother. And there you see Maz Kanata's castle in the background. And on the Jedi Temple across the lake, we have the Jedi Temple of Takodana and a new Jedi.
And I like that they have Maz Kanata's castle. It's really cool. It shows you that it is older.
Yep.
Yeah, I really like it. And just across the lake's the Jedi Temple, and that's really cool too.
Which we never knew was there.
Yeah,
Right.
until now. It makes you want to go back and watch that scene in Force Awakens when the X-Wings come across the water to see.
Yeah, they weren't
something on
planning
the-
it
on,
then,
you know,
so I
on the
don't
other
think it would be
side.
there, but yeah.
Well, that's kind of a spoiler alert, but even if you look, I don't know if you'll see it.
Yeah.
Right.
So here we go. I love this deck, the galactic data files that the IDW has. Here we have the lake, Maz's castle, and then the Jedi temple. You see this topographical map. It's pretty cool.
It's super cool.
And then we go inside back to Starlight Beacon. And we have the Jedi here that are training in meditation. So,
Buckets of blood. Oh, they're asking. You see that?
What happened to Great Storm?
Yeah.
So at this point, he's missing. They're not sure.
No, at this point he's
No, they
dead.
know, because I think that's Bell, isn't it? That's Bell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bell's at a part. That's right. So this is after he's already found him,
Yeah.
and then lost him again.
Yeah.
That's right. So they're not quite sure what happened, but Bell's all PTSD.
Yeah.
And then here back on Takodana, we see they are under attack. The Jedi Temple's being blasted. And our Jedi just leaps into the sky, lands on the ships, and starts protecting the temple. Look at his lightsabers.
I think his name's Sav, or her name. I think her name is Sav, right? This Jedi. I'm trying to remember her name.
It's a she, and she has her double sabers.
Yeah. What's her name?
Yeah, I honestly can't
I
remember
think
her
it's
name.
Sav.
But it's double sabers and they're purple.
Yeah, they're really cool. You don't really see the purple I ever really, except like once. But then-
Ty Yorick and Mace Windu. So it's like, ooh, these
Yeah.
are very
Yeah, hopefully Disney's listening. That'd be really cool. It's like, to be able to disconnect it in a different way and light it up.
Imagine taking your strike of ships to a planet, no defenses, and then this one Jedi starts jumping from ship to ship and just what are we supposed to do here? We have the high ground, apparently it's not working.
This reminds me of the Clone Wars, the animated when I think it was Mace jumping from one ship to another.
I remember Ahsoka does it too, like towards the end.
But Mace did it. I think Mace did it in the not the canon ones, the other
cartoons.
Series,
Yeah,
the micro series,
Chakosky or whatever they are.
Yeah, the micro series Clone Wars.
Yeah,
and I think there's a scene just like this in there, which is pretty cool.
The Ahsoka one's so good at the end of Clone Wars.
It is.
That's phenomenal.
Oh yeah. And so our Jedi is very successful at protecting the temple. And then here's Crix saying, now looks like he's gonna kamikaze into the Jedi. And then we go back over to Starlight Beacon, where Master Yoda's still missing, right? Because he left, he said, don't follow me.
Missing, yeah.
They don't know what's going on.
Pretty much, yeah. All these Padawans are just concerned about what's going on because they don't know what's going on with the war with the Nihil. But at this point, though, the Drangir have been put to sleep. So it's just a Nihil, but apparently there's this new weapon that can make Jedi Masters turn to dust. So I can see how children or teens would be all riled up.
The Nameless.
Yeah.
Very concerned. But I don't think they feel that Yoda's dead because they don't sense that he's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
They just don't know where he is. And he is one of the wisest Jedi, so they really would like to have him. And then here back at...
I think Zine's having a flashback right here.
I think so too.
Oh yeah. About what it looks like Valo, right? The attack on Valo.
It's Valor or her planet. Oh no, this is Valor because her planet wouldn't have. They weren't. It was asteroids coming down, not ships firing.
Right. It was a great disaster.
But the big line is right there at the bottom, and they're saying places are still being attacked, but we believe it's led by Crix, Camarak. And all of a sudden, that's where you see Zine's demeanor really change.
Her face, yeah, because she still is conflicted.
Yeah. And so they all know, they're all trying to console her. Yeah.
Well, because it's the Jedi who's speaking it doesn't know Zine's connection to Crix.
Right, correct.
Yeah.
Doesn't know her as well. So when he says that, she's feeling like, oh no, but then Lula knows. And so she's trying to comfort Zine.
Yeah.
And then you're
Pretty much at the end, they're mentioning that Takodana was defended by a single Jedi. But we're gonna need help. We're gonna have to help her. So
they're like a single Jedi.
Yeah. Soon to find out is very capable.
Oh yeah, her name is Sav Maligan.
Yeah, she's super cool. I really like her. She reminds me of I think she's the same species, that one bounty hunter in Clone Wars that uses helmet a lot as like a disc or something like that.
Yeah.
Bounty hunter.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Can't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Also, in the preview toys for The Force Awakens, I think they showed a character like that.
Constable Zuzio.
Constable Zuzio, yes. Very reminiscent.
Legendary figure.
Bryce, you're good.
Never in
the movie, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Got an action figure. I have it.
I have it too.
They ended up putting him in the Rise of Skywalker, right? Just to kind of. Oh no, he was in.
I'm gonna change Zuvio's name to Sav. I'm gonna say it's Sav.
Not quite as tall, Mike.
Yeah.
No.
Short. He's very short.
Could be stylistic.
I think we find him in a deleted scene, I think, to be honest.
I think he's in the bar in Mandalorian when he meets with
Possible, yeah.
Krieg.
Possible.
I think they put it in there. It's like, hey, he's finally in something.
Yeah.
So here Crix made it back to the Gaze Electric. His ship's all battered.
And his crew's all dead. He's the only one.
Yeah. They're like, hey, what happened, Crix?
And pretty much he's ordering a second attack.
And then Crix vows to destroy the Jedi Temple on Takodana.
It's very this right here tells a lot that how much he's grown and how much power he's gotten. Like he was a kidnappee, and now he can tell all these strikes what to do. So I don't know if they ever say it, but I can't remember the order, but strikes the lowest and then clouds the second. So he might be a cloud at this time. Right? Strike, cloud, storm. Temple.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's cloud, strikes, and then storm.
So you think cloud might be the lowest?
I think so.
Yeah, I can't remember, but apparently he's got to be the next level up to just tell all these warriors like, we're gonna do this, and like, okay.
Yeah. You know what? The thing about the Nihil is that they're very similar to the Jedi strategy of inducting all these young recruits, and so they have different methods, but they're still recruiting the young into their ranks. So it's very similar, but like a different. So here we might think like, gosh, that's horrible, but yet the Jedi were doing the same thing, and so like the stormtroopers too, right? They were collecting all these kids.
Yeah.
So they're all doing the same thing in the Star Wars galaxy, and sometimes we're for it, sometimes we're against it. But you know what? It depends on who's telling the story.
Morality discussion sometime one day, we have on all that, but not gonna happen.
Right. So obviously the Jedi are the winners because they're the ones telling the story, and so they're the good guys. But imagine if the Nihil had won.
How does the saying goes? Whoever tells the story is the good guys, or something like that.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. The person telling the story must be the winner.
Any final thoughts on this episode?
I liked it as moving us along to the next episode. I think I'm gonna have to collect them all and read them as a batch like you guys do.
Yeah, this episode really was just the purpose was to bring us together, our family, the adventures group, finally bring them together, and then just kind of a prelude what's gonna go on. They really didn't advance too much to the story, but it was still a good read.
Right.
So be sure to join us on our other shows. We have the Sunday shows for the Unifying Force. Thanks, Jonathan. My mind blanked.
Then we have the virtual Cantina Thursdays. We don't plug that one enough, but every Thursday it's a live stream virtual Cantina. We watch something Star Wars. You watch along, and it's pretty fun. Sometimes. Just
Yeah, we got the Path of the Darksaber is what we're going to be going down. Watching
Yes.
Clone Wars and Rebels. So
It'll be fun. Please like and subscribe, and see you next week.
May the force be with you.
may the force be with you.